Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Not
Dishes.
interested. Okay, fair enough.
Dishes. Dishes.
Dishes.
Fishes who?
No, dishes.
Oh, dishes. I'm messing this one up. Dishes who?
Dishes Fanboys Live in the Retro Review, and the show starts now. Welcome to the most rehearsed and greatest DC comic show on YouTube, Fanboys Live in the Retro Review. It's great to have you here this evening. On behalf of Tim the Comic Collector, who said he didn't want to spend any time with us tonight, I welcome you to the show. I also say hello to Comic Food 2814. Hello.
How's it going?
Good. And I say hello to Signature King, Royal of Foils. How are you?
Good. How are you this fine Sunday?
Did everyone have a good Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Like 4 of them.
Yeah, 4 of them. Good. I got me a little surprise snowstorm this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I wasn't quite expecting, so.
Yeah. It's too early for that.
This is our third.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it started on Halloween, so.
As is customary in that edge of the universe.
It is. They tell me it's going to be an El Nino winter. I'd like to see it.
Wait, so does that mean it's going to be warmer or colder?
They say it's supposed to be warmer, but.
Because last year was really bad, right?
Yeah, last year was bad.
Well, here in Pennsylvania, my neck of the woods, we didn't get any snow last year. 0. So I don't know how it could be any warmer if we didn't get any snow last year.
I don't know. What's going on news-wise?
Constantine 2 director Francis Lawrence reveals that now that the strike is over after Thanksgiving, so any day now, they are going to continue to move forward with Constantine 2.
Cool.
With Keanu Reeves, so stay tuned. Hopefully it comes to fruition. I mean, they're still in the very early stages. It could get axed at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
Or heck, even if the movie's finished, it could still get canceled. DC's
True,
done
that's
that.
happened before, so.
Yep, so who knows, but what do you think? You guys excited for Constantine 2? Maybe? No?
I mean, once you've got his first appearance, everything else is just meh. You know what I'm saying, Tony?
That's fair.
No, he doesn't.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, I mean, to be honest with you, the whole occult stuff and all has never really been my kind of thing. So, I mean, I remember the original movie I remember enjoying it, but yeah.
I wonder if Shia LaBeouf would come back.
Was he in the original?
Yeah, he was Chaz.
See, that's how well I remember it.
I don't know if he would, because at the end of the movie, he dies. But even though that character comes back several times. So, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Did you guys check out the Constantine TV show? What did you guys think about that?
I didn't watch his own show, but I watched him when he was on Legends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
And I liked him on that.
I saw an episode or 2 of his own show, and it didn't interest me.
Yeah, there's a couple misses in that run, but overall, I like the show.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Constantine can live up to the name. News-wise, honestly, that's probably it.
Isn't there Doom Patrol news?
Yeah,
yes.
I saw Doom Patrol just had their finale, and they're done now on HBO Max. So is that the last of the TV shows?
So has that aired? Because I knew that they broke the season into 2 parts. Has the second part been released yet?
I think this is the second part.
So, yeah. And in fact, that's the article I'm looking at. It's the end of a major era for the DC universe. It just occurred and nobody noticed.
The show, I mean, with points for creativity. And I'm kind of one that says, hey, fly your freak flag high as you can. But even that sometimes for me I'm like, that freak flag's flying pretty high there.
I enjoyed most of season 1, and towards the end, it was just like, whoa, what's going on? And then I tried season 2, and I just couldn't get it past the first.
I will watch if the rest of it's out. I'm going to watch it because I've watched everything else, so will watch it.
Yeah, was it season 3 where they had Candlemaker?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the one where COVID kind of screwed up the ending.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I stopped because of COVID, but. That's a shame. It's a good show. I really liked it. I thought the cast was great.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Fraser was a great robot man. So
yeah, no, the cast was very good on that show.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be Firefly in the Batgirl movie.
Really?
We'll never see that.
Yeah, we won't.
That's a shame.
Probably for the best.
Well, I mean, I like Brandon Fraser.
I do too, but as Firefly in Batgirl.
I gotta give him the benefit of the doubt. If possible, I want to at least see some of those scenes that he's in. Who knows? He could have hit a home run.
Could have.
But knowing DC, what they would have done if Brandon Fraser knocked out of the park as Firefly, he would have gotten his own show or spinoff or something. Then it would have been really stupid. I hate it when they do that.
Yeah.
I was going to say hello to I Collect a Lot, who's joined us. How are you doing? Hope that you had a nice holiday too. Thanks for being here.
How's it going?
If you're watching on the rewind, hello to you as well. Do appreciate it.
They tried to do it to Harley Quinn. It didn't work. Which is weird because if you think of any one of them, like that one would stick because for some reason she has like a cult-like following that I don't understand.
Grown men cosplay as her.
I've seen it.
I've heard that.
I've seen it.
Yeah, we know you have.
Hello to Kenneth Bird. Hope you're doing well.
Go to a convention and take a shot for every Harley Quinn cosplay you see. You'll be dead of alcohol poisoning before the first. You buy lunch on the first day, easy. There's just so many of them. And they're always all the same, too. Daddy's little monster. They got the little pigtails. Like, no one wants to cosplay as, like, the OG Harley, you know? Like, what the gestures had.
Mm-hmm.
So did either of you get out for Black Friday?
No.
No,
my LCS was doing something, but unfortunately, I couldn't do it.
I stayed in as well. I hear Tim went.
Yeah, I heard Tim did too. Or he's got a closet full of presents.
Yeah.
I heard Black Friday numbers overall across the U.S. are pretty dismal.
Yeah.
Well, Black Friday so much isn't a day anymore as it's a season almost.
Yeah.
Well, that and like, why go out on Friday when you just order some online on Monday?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point?
Yeah. Hello to Paul S. Hope that you're doing well. Gobble gobble.
Yeah, they had a big turkey in our family Thanksgiving. Huge. 30-something pounds.
Oh, wow.
I did already for Black Friday / Cyber Monday pricing. I did order the Flash 4K disc.
Did you?
Oh, very cool.
Because it was $15.
Hmm.
I mean, on a 4K and a Blu-ray and a digital copy. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I was at my Walmart, I think it was yesterday, and I saw they had the Green Lantern vampire McFarlane toy. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there, I'm holding it. I'm like, do I already have this? Mm-hmm. I couldn't remember. And so it's still sitting there on the shelf. And I get home like, yeah, I don't think I have it.
So starting tomorrow for all you comic collectors, the Comic Mint is 50% off everything.
Yeah, I heard that.
So that's a heck of a steal. I know I'm eyeballing some variants for sure. So does BTC Collectibles do anything?
Nucadia's got a 40% off sale.
Nucadia, yeah.
Oh, that's always good, especially for some of the run fillers.
Yeah.
I don't see BTC doing any big Cyber Monday deal, which is strange.
Yeah. Yeah, really. Not much happened this past week. Well, it was the holiday, right? So
yeah.
Right. The Collector Cave is buy 3 get 2 free. So check them out if you're looking for some good deals. Last one, Carnivore Comics. I don't see anything going on. So
thanks for the update.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm trying to let everyone
Just
know.
letting you know, everybody's got sales going on except for these guys.
Except Carnivore.
Except for them, yeah.
But I like Comic Mint.
I like Comic Mint a lot. I think they give back to the fans, actually, because they do a lot of, here's a free book, just pay for shipping.
They do. They just had a Boba Fett Funko Pop. One of the big ones, I think, and you got a free T-shirt. It was completely free, just paid for shipping. And then it was limited to like 2,000. I think it sold out in like something ridiculous, like an hour.
Crazy.
Yeah. But I thought about getting it because Boba Fett's cool. So.
Hey, Damien, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
That's one of the characters Kathleen Kennedy hasn't absolutely killed yet. So. Unless I'm missing something.
Sad
Boba
Vision.
Fett?
That Vision is sad.
Did she ruin Boba Fett too?
Dude.
Dang it.
That TV show was, I mean.
Oh, that's right. Book of Boba Fett. I forgot. Dang.
Yeah.
Well, never mind then. My last shred of Star Wars hope is that string has been cut.
Yeah. All of the allure and mystery surrounding Boba Fett, it's gone. It's just like,
Yeah, that's why people liked him, because, nobody knew anything about him. Like Joker. That's why the Joker is so appealing, because he's this big mystery.
Oh, they made a whole mockery of the Rancor and just all the cool stuff is just like,
Now I gotta see Book of Boba Fett just to see how bad they screwed it up. But I heard it was the same actor from like episode 2 who played Jango Fett, which is I love that. I think that's fantastic. I can't remember the guy's name, but
it was
pretty cool. But this is a DC show and not a Boba Fett show.
That's true.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Tony, you did the pick for the retro review tonight. Tell us what the theme is and why you picked it.
So routinely on the show we do great stories. And that's great. We highlight some of these underread stories sometimes. But rarely do we talk about underread characters or characters that might have been in the middle of like a C-list character or a C-level character. So I just want to do a deep dive into some of these characters that nobody probably ever heard of or has heard very little about. So that was kind of the reason I went this route.
All right.
Okay, cool.
So
who did you pick for your character?
Tonight I picked the Crimson Avenger. He's I believe he's back from the Golden Age, right? And then carried forward through the Silver Age with the whole crossover with the Justice League and all, and the Justice Society, and well, we'll see what comes from that tonight.
Awesome. Do you want to get us started?
Yes. Give me a second.
And what
I
book
gotta
did you
bring mine
pick?
up too.
I picked DC Comics Presents number 38 and I think I've mentioned before, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first comic book that I ever owned.
Oh, cool.
And
I don't have this one. I don't think I've ever paged through this one, so this will be fun.
I still have my original one. It is so well read through. It was really funny going back and reading through this again. It brought back a lot of memories. So this is from, I forget the year. It's got to be the early 80s. 1981. Yeah. Wow. So, okay. So this is DC Comics Presents number 38, Superman and the Flash. And I've always loved this depiction of the Flash where you kind of see him running in shadow there almost. So cool. And you can see down in the corner here, we've got the bonus feature of whatever happened to the Crimson Avenger. And, as a kid, I knew the Flash, I knew Superman, but I've always been intrigued by this guy in the lower corner of the cover of this book, the Crimson Avenger. So And I've never really seen him come up other than this book, and well, the story here actually explains why. So I'm gonna skip through the main story here with the Flash. Although one thing I do want to point out is this kind of these Kirby dots here showing this energy. I remember seeing this as a kid, and I thought it was so cool. It really stuck with me. All right, let me jump down to the main story. Oh, and this Flash Superman story is absolutely ridiculous. These aliens that possess them and all. And okay, here we go. So whatever happened to the Crimson Avenger? So it starts out in this hospital where we've got these nurses talking about one of their patients, asking, isn't there anything we can do for them? And they're like, no, there's not. He's got an incurable, inoperable condition, and he's got less than 1 week to live. Mr. Lee Travis. And there's actually been, I believe, 3 versions of the Crimson Avenger, but I believe this is the original, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so this is the way my world ends, eh? Not with a bang, as befits a man of action, but with a whimper. After all I've sacrificed, it doesn't seem fair somehow. It just doesn't seem fair. And you can see him looking in his reflection here as to the man he once was. He knows he's dying now. And the real thing that's bugging him here is that, well, I'll read this little blurb here. Once he was a superhero, a relentless force for justice in an all too unjust world. Then, suddenly, inexplicably, he vanished from the face of the earth. And herein lies his problem, because the world's really forgotten about the Crimson Avenger. And to him, you know, he's got a week left to live. He's thinking back on his life, and he's thinking, that's kind of a shame. I did a lot of good, and it's just a shame the way things worked out. He vanished, and the world forgot about him. So let's see what happened here. He started out, he was an editor, a publisher for a local newspaper, the Daily Globe. But that wasn't enough for him. He tried doing good through that, but so he decided to put on this superhero uniform and become the Crimson Avenger, or otherwise known as the Midnight Manstalker. He became a member of a superhero team called the 7 Soldiers of Victory, battling Nebula Man. And you can see some members of, I believe that's, they're members of now what would be All-Star Squadron. Is that right, Lasso?
Yeah, that looks right.
Yeah. But he was thrown through a time barrier by the destructive force of the creature being destroyed, this Nebula Man. And it took the combined might of the Justice Society and Justice League to free those soldiers from the time trap. And correct me if I'm wrong, Lasso, but I think we have read that story, right?
No, this was a different one that they did. This
one?
is, I believe, is Justice League 100 and 101. Was the team up that happened in, because I have those issues.
We got another story to read then.
Yeah, we do.
So it sounds like they came together, freed him from this time trap. But when they did, it returned him several decades in the future, and hence why it seemed during his time why he just disappeared. He vanished, and the world forgot about him. He was still the same age, but he's in this future world. He sees these other superheroes with even more powerful capabilities. We got Power Girl, Dr. Fate, Plastic Man. They're already taking care of the job that he once did, and he realizes there really is no need for him anymore. He's going to enjoy his retirement. He's earned it, and so that's what was going to happen. But then, of course, he became sick. So Oh, and in his absence too, his newspaper business has made him incredibly wealthy. So he's very rich now because of all those decades of investments, right? But again, he's concerned that nobody's going to remember the Crimson Avenger. So as he's thinking this, he's looking out over the harbor and he notices this vessel there on the river, and it's blinking SOS through its lights. And so he thinks, well, maybe this is his chance to make one final impact on the world. So he bolts out of his hospital window. And as he does, he hears this woman screaming for her child who has just fallen out of this apartment complex window. And we get this great scene here of him leaping down in his Crimson Avenger uniform here, jumping off the flagpole there and catching the boy, returning him to his mother and saying, hey, be careful. I won't always be here to catch him. She's like, I will. But hey, what's your name? And he actually responds in Spanish saying, I'm going to screw this up, but Miel Vengador Rojo, aka the Crimson Avenger. But again, he's off to save this ship. So he darts off, leaving the child with his mother, catches a ride on a helicopter to then land on the ship, where it's been taken over by these criminals who are looking to steal the chemicals on the ship, which are highly volatile and reactive, because they can resell them on the black market. It sounds like the company that owns the ship was taking it out to deep sea and they were just going to dump it. So I guess, everyone's at fault for something here. But the Crimson Avenger gets on and sees what's happening. And he is known for his red mist. It's a red smoke he puts out to confuse and, obfuscate the situation so that he can come in and make his sneak attack, which he does here, attacking these criminals and taking them out one by one. But just before he takes out the last guy, the guy lets loose a grenade. He manages to free the ship, the captain and his staff, but they notice that the grenade's about to go off, and it's going to create the ship catches fire, and they realize that these chemicals can actually blow up the entire city, and they've got to get this ship out to sea as quickly as possible, and it's basically a suicide mission. So the Crimson Avenger decides that, he's only got a week to live anyway. So he sends the captain on his way. The captain tries to fight and say, no, I go down with the ship. And the Crimson Avenger's like, not this time. Get out of here. No time to argue with me. And with that, he sends them off to safety on the lifeboat. And in his final moments, you see him there piloting this burning craft out to deep sea. And he's wondering if he will finally be remembered, right? But he's happy that he finally got a chance to do one bit of good. But ultimately, people aren't going to remember him because no one knows who piloted this ship. In fact, when they get back, the captain tells the officials what happened, and they ask, well, who was this guy? He's like, I don't know. He never gave us his name. So it's a tragedy all around. However, in the final panel, we do get this scene of that mother and her son, and she does recall his name, because if you remember, she did ask what his name was. And she says, promises her son that one day when he's old enough to remember, she's going to tell him the story of the Crimson Avenger and how he saved him that day. So there you go. That's the end of the story.
Cool. I want to say hello to a few people who jumped in during the story, including Nick's Kicks and Comics and John's Comics with Kids. Stop by. Great to have you guys joining us.
Hey, everyone.
So what would you rate your story?
I'd say I'd probably go with like a 3.5. It was the perfect length for that kind of story, and it gave a great introduction to a character I wasn't previously familiar with. And I suppose for fans of the character, it probably served as a nice ending for a story that really never quite got wrapped up.
Yeah.
So,
and
cool. The artwork I thought was great. Again, I noticed Sleepy Reader mentioned my comment on the way Flash was drawn, right?
Yeah.
And if you notice, there's that when he was saving the boy, the Crimson Avenger is kind of drawn in the same way, which is very cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Nice. So for my story, I picked a character called the Green Fury. Are either one of you familiar with the Green Fury?
No, sir.
No.
This is the early incarnation of what would become Fire. If you know the character Fire, who is a Justice League member. This is essentially her first incarnation. She made 5 appearances in different Super Friends comic books. She was never in the cartoon, but like the cartoon, the comic book tried to be very diverse and have heroes from all continents and all cultures, almost like a global Guardians type thing. This was the final issue of the Super Friends comic book. It was issue 47, and I chose this one because this has it's a full-length story with her, and it features her origin, and she's more present in the story than the Super Friends actually are. So I thought this would be good for a C-list or a forgotten hero tonight. And I like the cover. I think the cover is pretty cool there.
Very cool.
So as we get started, check out that splash page. But look specifically at Aquaman. Does he not look like a dude that would say gnarly?
Yeah.
So they're saying happy birthday to the Wonder Twins. And the twins are commenting on they're just starting to get accustomed to Earth celebrations like one for the day of their birth. And they talk about how they usually don't like sweets because Exors don't like sweets, but they kind of like that too. Superman lit the candles with his heat vision. So they go to make a wish to blow out the candles when all of a sudden the trouble alert comes off. And who is calling them on the trouble alert? It's the Green Fury. And she says, I am in desperate need of your assistance. I'm confronted by a menace too great for me to battle alone. And they say, just tell us where you are and we're on our way. So they start heading off to the Amazon. And as they fly out there in the invisible jet, you can even see Wonder Woman say, and here goes a real Amazon to the river of the same name. So they find the Green Fury in a rainforest clearing, and she thanks them for arriving. And Superman says, what's going on? And she says, well, strangely enough, it's connected with my origin. So I really need to tell you about my birth and the way I received my powers. I even must trust you with my true identity. She says, I am Beatriz da Costa. And Batman says, well, you sure fooled me. And then he whips his cowl off to reveal himself as Bruce Wayne, her boss. He says, all that time you were training in Gotham City, I never realized who you were, even though I'm your boss. And she is pleasantly surprised to find out that that's her boss. She is the head of Wayne Enterprises in Brazil. So Robin says, okay, you two know who each other is. What's going on? And she says, I may be the head of Wayne Enterprises' Brazilian branch, but if we don't stop this calamity, there may be no Brazil or perhaps nothing at all. She says, my father was a surveyor. He had a job deep in the jungle, and her mother insisted on going along, although she was very pregnant with her at the time, and the time for her to be born was near. So they do this flashback moment, and her mother is calling to her father saying, it's time, the little one is coming. Well, they take her to this primitive Indian village that's close by where they're told, take your wife in there, they will deliver the baby and take care of her. So the baby's born and the village shaman comes in and he says, the spirits of the sky have spoken to me. Your child has been chosen to receive great powers. And he does like a little dance that they just kind of play off as amusement or whatever. And they really don't think a whole lot of it. And nothing really happens until she's 15 years old. When all of a sudden one day she hears the voice of the shaman, child, can you hear me? And she's like, I can hear you and I can see you. And this, I'm scared. This frightens me. And he says, be calm. I was chosen by the sky spirits to give you certain powers. I did. And now the day has come for you must use them. And she's like, well, what type of powers and how do I activate them? And she has explained about some of the powers, how the color of her eyes can change from black to green, and with a dazzle power shoot sparkles, and to make others see what is not there, so she can kind of create an illusion. She also learns to breathe green flame, which she could cause to envelop herself and change her into the Green Fury. And she can turn her breath hot or cold, even use it to propel herself into the air so she could fly. And they're like, so this talisman taught you all of this by telepathy? And she's like, that's what we would call it, Jaina. What they would call it, I'm not so sure. But as it may, he did instruct me, when I master my powers, the vision stopped. That was until yesterday, when a message from the shaman was received, and it was most dreadful. So yesterday, a vision came to her. She sees a 100-year-old man near death, and it's the shaman. And he contacts her to say, I'm about to join the spirits, leaving you to protect my people from a great peril. And she's like, well, what kind of peril? And he says, my grandson, he will take my place. He's learned much of the magic, but I fear he cannot properly control it, for he despises the whites, and he essentially wants to start to rule against them. And anyone that's caught invading their forests or the planet Earth around them, he wants to take them on, There's evil spirits, unlike the good spirits that gave her powers, and he has chosen an evil forest spirit. So she says, okay, I will go there. And she changes into the Green Fury, and she blasts off heading for Brazil. And once she finally makes it to Brazil, the village of her birth, she descends and uses her fire flame, to slow the descent so she doesn't crash into the ground. And she sees the man that turns out to be the grandson, and he's with this creature that's a combination of several different types of animals. And the creature starts to attack her. So she uses the dazzle power, but it doesn't work on him. And she just narrowly avoids him. And she's shocked that this didn't work on him, that the illusion that she created didn't work. So she thinks, I got to do something else. And she tries a blast of white hot flame. And didn't even slow him down. And she realizes she can't afford to lose this battle. And she's like, here's a trick that Batman taught me. And she kind of, alley-oops him over herself and knocks herself free. And then during the counterattack, hits him with a blast of cold flame. And that doesn't seem to work either. And she doesn't know what she can do. She's tried everything but her green flame. And she says, if I try this and it fails, I'm finished. But she realizes the demon starts to retreat. And she battled him for a long time with the power of the green flame. She was so slashed and bruised, she could hardly stand, but he started disappearing to nothingness just about when her strength was about to give out. She can't go much further. She starts to collapse, and she recovered enough to use her flame and its magic to heal her wounds and repair her costume as well. So at that point, the headman contacted her again in a vision to say that the grandson had summoned 3 new threats greater than even the first. And that's when she knew that she had to get the SuperFriends. So she contacted them on the trouble alert. And Superman's like, okay, well, where are these menaces? And she's like, well, we're going to have to split up. And they say, Wonder Twins, you're going to split up too. So why don't you activate your powers, but just wait to see what shape or form you need to use those as. So they activate their powers, and they decide Aquaman and Zan will split up together. Batman, Robin, and Jaina will go together, and Green Fury, Wonder Woman, and Superman will go off to take care of the third menace. So they all split off, and we start to see how their adventures take them. And it starts with Aquaman and Zan, and there is this, they find this water. And Aquaman tells Zan to stay back. The river is rising from its bed, and it's arched like a rainbow. And it's moving away from the bed, and it's going to start flooding the entire area. So Aquaman jumps in, and he sees the spirit of the river, which is really the grandson. And the spirit of the river is like, who are you? And he's like, well, I'm called the King of the Seven Seas. And they start to battle a little bit. So Aquaman uses his aquatic telepathy and summons a lot of the creatures in the sea to attack. And the grandson is shocked by this. And Zan decides he needs to step in at this point. And since he rules a tropical river, there's one thing he would never expect. So he takes the form of a frost giant. And he reaches in there, grabs him, and essentially freezes him solid. So Aquaman says, nice going, but won't the heat, thaw him out? And he says, my Exorian power will keep him on ice till we can get to the shaman and stop his spells. So now we check in with Batman, Robin, and Jaina, and they're going through a forest looking for the threat of the animals that they're supposed to find. Robin notices something bubbling up from the ground, and as they start to get closer, some bones start popping out, and they start taking the shape of very prehistoric creatures before man ever existed. One of them even looks like a saber-toothed tiger. And they say, well, it actually isn't a saber-toothed tiger, but they're marsupials like kangaroos and possums. And so these animals start to attack them. Robin does a big old karate chop to stop one of them. Batman says it's a good job. And between Batman and Robin, they kind of punch another one out too. And they use some of their devices in their utility belts to capture these creatures. And Jaina decides to take the shape of an armored dinosaur. So this large armadillo is taking on Jaina in the form of this armored dinosaur. And Jaina is able to defeat it, and it breaks back into the bones that it was. So that's the second threat averted. Now we check in with Wonder Woman, Green Fury, and Superman, and they're looking for their third threat, and they don't see it. So Superman uses his X-ray vision and realizes that they're surrounded by their threat. They're in camouflage, and they're blending in with the jungle growth. So it's battle time. And they start wrestling as these plant creatures try to attack the superheroes, and Green Fury tries using her green fire. And it does back them up a little bit, but she can't stop all of them at once. So they try to bound Wonder Woman with her bracelets, but it's only at this time, it was only a man that could weaken Wonder Woman by binding her bracelets together. And since they're not men, they're plants, that's not going to work. But what they decide to do, since there's so many, they have to combine their powers together. So Superman uses his cold breath, and Green Fury uses her cold as well, and they both send it to Wonder Woman's lasso, who scatters it around as she's twirling the lasso. And it kind of shears right through all of these creatures, and they disappear. As Wonder Woman says, hopefully forever. So all the heroes have reunited, and the Wonder Twins deactivate at this time. And the grandson appears again, and Green Fury uses her power to make him see what she wants him to see. And what she wants him to see with her dazzle power is what his grandfather sees. And he can feel the old man calling to him as he realizes what his vision is. So they go in to see the grandfather, the original shaman that gave Green Fury her power. He has them come in. The grandson apologizes for what he done. And the shaman says, no people can be all evil or all good. Have we not been put here by what power or powers rule creation? Call them by what names we will. I am called, but I leave two great legacies. My grandson, my daughter in spirit, ever use your magic for the good of all. He passes away at that time, and the grandson says, but I will keep his wise words in my heart. Green Fury says, so will I. And Wonder Woman says, so must we all. And that's the end of my story.
Very cool.
I liked my story. I'm going to give mine a 4 out of 5, just for the fun of it. I just thought it was fun.
Yeah, it's funny, the different chapters, I was hearing the little sound in my head, in between
the stars, yeah. Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I always wish that she had been on the actual cartoon. So
yeah, I wasn't familiar with this character. So, and you're saying, but this is essentially turned into Fire from
the Justice
80s,
League,
early 90s,
because she has the same secret identity. So that's how they kind of morph that character after Crisis.
Oh, okay, very cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, hello to Bronze Age Brian. And we're getting ready to do Tony's story. One of the fanboys has to bow out, though. If they want to say their goodbyes or promote anything or show anything else or whatever you want to do, this would be probably the best time to do that.
Yep, sounds good. Actually, I'll just say goodbye. I didn't bring a book for tonight, but and actually I don't have anything planned right now on the channel. So, but glad I was able to join here tonight and share the Crimson Avenger with everyone. Sorry, Tony, I'm going to miss your story, but I'll catch the replay.
The best one out of all 3.
Yeah.
So we'll be on your channel next week, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well,
All
you
right.
have a good time doing whatever furry event you're headed to do.
Furry Thanksgiving.
Furry
Forgiving.
Thanksgiving. Forgiving.
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 This channel is very forgiving.
There you go.
Okay. Have
All
a good
right.
night.
See you,
Take
everyone.
care. So, Tony, tell me about your story. Tell me why you chose this one and who it is.
This is reverse Shazam. He is called Zazzo.
Okay.
Even though that's not reverse Shazam at all. So
No.
you can see his colors are swapped and everything. Like, this guy is the exact opposite of Shazam that we know. He comes from another dimension, another world. And he's the opposite of Shazam in every way. Well, not every way. And we'll get to that because he doesn't really have Shazam's power. He kind of borrows it. But we'll get into that. So we start with Billy chasing down a couple of bank robbers and having the strength of Hercules and the speed of Mercury. He's able to catch up to them pretty darn quick. He's able to lift up the getaway car and put it on top of the police station. So police didn't have to do much to apprehend these guys. So meanwhile, Zazzo is watching all this, and he's fascinated with Shazam. He wants his power. 1 second. Sorry, I got the daycare crud. Kids brought it home, so it's my turn. So anyway, he's watching Shazam, and he figures out, you know what? I can steal his power, and I can become him, and I can use Earth as like my little playground. So he has like this pointy helmet, and this is kind of how he steals it. So he melts the wall of the police station, allowing the burglars to go free, even supplying them a helicopter. Billy, seeing this, he's like, well, I gotta go after them. I gotta help them. So he says, Shazam, but the lightning doesn't come because Zazzo was wearing that pointy lightning rod on his hat. So he gets struck by the lightning, granting him the powers. So now we have our first appearance of full Zazzo. So Shazam says it again. He turns back into Shazam. He goes up there to apprehend the criminals, and he runs into Zazzo, and Zazzo's explaining his origin. He's like, I'm not from Earth. I'm from another dimension. You know, kind of jokingly saying, nice to meet you. It's your planet's pretty dull, and I'm here to spice things up. He takes the helicopter from Shazam, and he kind of chucks it out into the ocean. But luckily, Shazam is able to catch it, and he goes after Zazzo. He actually tricks Shazam into saying it again, but he quickly removes his helmet. So now Shazam turns into Billy, where he is captured, and he has placed a they call it a muffle mask. I'm not sure if it's from his dimension or from our dimension. I'm not sure. It doesn't really specify. But he can't speak forever. So he's kind of screwed. He's still chasing Zazzo, and he runs into Captain Marvel Jr., Freddie Freeman, selling newspapers, and he steals the newspapers from Freddie. So Freddie says Shazam to chase Billy, not knowing it's Billy, but the lightning strikes Zazzo, turning him back into his normal form, and he's falling down to earth, and he's able to grab onto this flagpole, and Billy's able to catch the helmet, allowing him to move all these ads, say Shazam, become Shazam, and a great panel right here. You see him just spanking Zazzo, which I thought was awesome. What a way to punish a criminal, just spank him. And then his dad comes into our dimension and says, hey, I'm Zazzo the Elder. That's my son. If you don't mind, I'll take him. And Shazam kind of gives him over. And Captain Marvel and Captain Marvel Jr. are laughing about it. And that's the end. So this one's nice and quick. Nice and fast. I think Lasso is out, and it's just me. Welcome to the Tony Fett Show. I've taken over successfully Lasso's channel. We're going to talk about all kinds of cool stuff. Stay tuned. This is going to be one heck of a show. Go ahead, grab yourself a snack, get a drink. We're going to have all kinds of cool guests on. Let me see. Let's see if we can get Lasso back. But in the meantime, I do have this issue, which is why I chose it. It's a great issue. This one is still very affordable. This one is nice and crisp. I believe this one would grade very high, in my opinion. Maybe a 9.0, possibly a 9.4. Sorry if I sound atrocious. I am a little under the weather. But yeah, let's. I'm gonna check, see if Lasso's in the Instagram, see if he has a time frame when he's coming back. Nothing yet, so we'll keep an eye on that. So. I was not able to go to my LCS this week. It's the holidays and whatnot. Friday was kind of hectic. Had to spend some time with the kids, went to the park, so that was a lot of fun. But there are some new releases I'm looking forward to. Is that him? That's no, sir. Hopefully he comes back. But yeah, I am looking forward to some key issues coming out this week. Let's see, keys of the week here. Let's go with keys of the week. The big one is, in my opinion, I think Batman 89 Echoes would be my super cool key of the week. So if you get a chance to go to your LCS, give that one a pickup. There's a lot of them. Power Girl has a key this week, but for DC, I would say it's either Batman 89 Echoes or Titans Beast World. Here he is. He's back. But I don't know where we lost you, but
it's nice to know that old problems can still kind of circle back and say, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, I believe it. But
I actually think that since we've had a snowstorm today, that wasn't expected, that's affected it a little bit. But anyway,
totally didn't take over your show and try to invite everybody on to just show whatever they wanted. But
so I got up to the point that Freddie Freeman came into the picture.
Oh,
and okay, my question is, I actually have two questions. Is this more like a playful character than a villain, like a Mr. Mitsopitalik?
Yes.
Or is okay.
Yeah.
So it's not so much like an evil villain as it's more like a playful
prankster. Yeah.
Prankster. Okay.
Yeah.
And did this character ever make another appearance?
Nope. First and only.
Really?
Yep. All the way back in 1975.
Wow.
And I was showing them that I had the issue, and it was in beautiful shape.
Yeah, that is.
So very affordable.
That's a great cover.
It is a great cover. I think I paid $2 for this, so
I think that's worth all two singles that you paid.
Absolutely worth it.
So for my book show, like I said, Green Fury made, I think, 5 appearances in different Super Friends cartoons. She wasn't on the cover of all of the issues that she appeared in, but she was on the cover of this one. This is issue 42.
Oh, there you go.
I just thought that might be a fun one to share.
Yeah. Wasn't she in the Justice League Unlimited?
I think Fire was.
Or Fire, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, same person, I guess.
Yeah, same person. This is just the pre-crisis version. So
yeah, I talked about my LCS. I talked about key issues coming out this week while you were gone.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice stretch.
You have to go back and look at it. I mean,
I will.
I was blessed with the gift of gab, so in this case, it paid off.
Yeah. Did you promote your channel and talk about what's going on there?
Getting close to the end of the year. I'm up against a pretty hard couple deadlines in the office, and well as some projects here at home. So content-wise, I think I only have a couple of shorts planned this week, but still collaborating with someone else. So we've got stuff in the works for that that's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about it. I can't dive into too much because it's not really my place to talk about it. All I can say is it's going to be cool.
That's awesome.
But stay tuned. I can't wait for it.
So, I do my little back issue of the week short that drops on Monday mornings. Tomorrow, the one that's dropping is episode 100. Haven't missed a week.
I like your shirt. Where'd you get that?
Oh, thanks. Got this online somewhere. But yeah, Team Awesome.
That is awesome.
You don't always see Supergirl and Batgirl on a shirt with the rest of the heroes, and that's one of the reasons I think that I was drawn to it.
See, I always get annoyed when they have Batman and Robin. It's like, just get one. Yeah. Robin can be replaced by, like, Shazam, maybe? I don't know. Because he's a kid.
Well, what about that wall hanging that was out several years ago? And Tim the Comic Collector has it in his backdrop, but instead of using Shazam, they used Freddie Freeman.
No one knows who either.
I know, but that's a surprise. It's like, well, that's an interesting choice.
I'm surprised they don't use any of the Shazam family in the Teen Titans or Titans. Because they're all very similar in age.
Yeah.
Except for when they're in their adult form, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. So that back issue of the week YouTube short comes out tomorrow on my channel, episode 100. I'd love to try to get at least 100 views on that in the course of the week. So that's going to be a goal to try to get that pushed to 100. Not the one I put out this week, but my last two have all done 100 views. So that's pretty awesome.
I think YouTube did something to the algorithm. I used to hit 1,000 views pretty consecutively, or on a regular, but now I struggle to hit that 100 mark, and I haven't changed anything.
Yeah.
So something must have happened in the background, but
every
now and then the YouTube gods throw me a bone.
So I did an A-OK unboxing this past week on my comic book editions video from Copy 801. He left the electric Band-Aid long enough to purchase and get something sent out my way. Did you get to see it? Because there's signatures in it.
I saw the first part, but I have to check out the rest of it.
You will. And coming up on my channel this upcoming week are some back issues that I bought locally recently. So some Marvel and DC, a lot of Bronze Age stuff because that's my wheelhouse and that's my jam. And a very interesting introduction to the video. Something definitely I haven't really done before.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very interesting. So stay tuned for that.
That's
Help
right.
Mr. Lasso get to 100 views.
Yep,
on his 100th episode.
Subscribe to all of the fanboys, even the one that didn't show up at all today, and even the one that left early. There are links in the description to this video. Sub everyone up in the chat, too. I see some fantastic people that are in the chat, including Bronze Age Brian.
Yeah, have you ever heard of that John's Comics with Kids?
I have heard of him.
You ever seen his channel? I've seen it once or twice.
Can't get him to come on the show, though.
No, I heard he's
too big.
It's too big.
It's too big
That's
to come on
maybe
this
not
channel.
what I was going to say, but sure, we'll go with that.
So, incidentally, with Bronze Age Brian, I saw that the Miko Corporation posted on Instagram, go to Big Lots and look for exclusive variants, Miko variants. And Bronze Age Brian was like, looked in Bradenton, Florida, and there was none here. So I went and looked tonight. Before I did Fanboys, wasn't any in West Bend either. So
Big Lots, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I still have like 6 Five Below stores, and not a single one of them has any packs.
Really? I think that the packs are sold out at my store, and I don't think they ever got any more back in.
I didn't get a single one.
Because I looked at that earlier this week. I was in Five Below, and I looked to see if they had any comic packs, and they sold out of everything that they had, but they never got any more back in.
Our local Ollie's Bargain Bin, I have the pleasure of having 2. Every time I go to them and I look at their comic packs, they're all open.
Oh, really? People have
So
cheated
someone looked at all the books and then put
and
it
then
back.
made their choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I had an Ollie's, just if nothing to be able to get some of the omnibuses. Hey, Bobby.
Oh my gosh, omnibuses galore at Ollie's. Trade paperbacks, more than you could possibly want. So I'm lucky for that, but I don't collect omnibuses or trade paperbacks.
I love the Omnis. Oh, I love the Omnis.
Now, if I found like a great like Shazam omnibus, yeah, I'd snag it up.
Mm-hmm.
Or like I really like visual art books, like
Mm-hmm.
the DC Encyclopedia. That's a cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if it counts as an omnibus, but it's
I
pretty
saw the
thick.
DC Encyclopedia, I think was, I don't know if it still is, but it was a Black Friday item on Amazon. I don't know if it's still a Cyber Monday item or not, but because I was looking through omnibuses to see if they had anything there, and it came up when I did the omnibus search.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I found my encyclopedia at Costco, so
Nice.
I think I paid like $11 for each one of them. So
Awesome.
$20, I got 2 of them. It's a no-brainer. Team
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, sweet. So next week on Fanboys Live the Retro Review, we're going to be on Comic Food 2014's channel. It is my pick.
Hopefully it's a good one.
I have an idea.
Good.
Yeah. We'll see.
Won't let him make that thumbnail, so
Yeah, that's his problem to worry about.
right?
Yeah.
Hopefully he's back from his convention by then.
Yeah. Well, you know, at this time of the year, you can stand to go outside in the uniforms, in the costumes.
Makes sense, yeah.
You know, like in July, it's too hot.
Oh yeah, why would you? Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Now it's comfortable.
Yeah. Heads up to anyone who attends Baltimore Comic-Con on a regular basis. Jim Lee will be back in town. Tickets are super duper limited, so I think they're talking less than 100.
Wow.
So get your
You gonna
tickets
do it?
early. Oh heck yeah, I'm gonna do it. Oh yeah,
Cool.
because he charges
Nice.
like $100 per signature, and they're gonna give you 8 signatures for like $500, and you get a photo. So I think I'm gonna do it. Did he freeze
Bobby,
again?
you hit the nail on the
Oh,
head.
he's
right
back.
there.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Where's the head?
True. Did you see what Bobby said too?
Get an omnibus. Yeah, right. Yep.
Yep. Well, I suppose before the connection decides to go on.
I was
on
just
me
thinking
again.
that. Please don't disappear right at the end of the show.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're left to feel for 6 hours because I just went, I give up, and watched a movie.
I would go along too. Like maybe he's coming back.
Yeah, he won't. Cool. Well, thanks for hanging with us tonight, Tony, and picking a
Yes.
fun topic to explore, to give some characters that don't always get some recognition.
Zazoo.
Zazoo. Cool. And thank you for watching the greatest DC Comics show on YouTube, Fanboys Live in the Retro Review. Sorry for the connectivity issues. We'll give them a piece of my mind when the connection is more stable.
Yes.
Have a great week. Successful, happy, healthy, safe week. And we look forward to visiting with you next week. Take care.